I was going to share some of this stuff from this article that was compiled by Nick Thompson for Vice magazine. This is headline, "People share the dumbest ways they've been scammed." So
All right.
figure we'd share a couple of these and just see if this might be something that you guys might be susceptible to. This one is from Dom, 30 years old in London. "I was looking for a short-term office job. The job advert didn't require any experience and it paid relatively well, but you had to go in person to a really horrible part of Salford to hand in your CV and 20 pounds in cash to process the application, which is never a thing. I dressed quite smart and was a bit nervous for it, thinking it would be an interview. It was these two guys who looked like serious petty criminals who had just put on their nicest clothes."
Oh my God.
I was trying to make a good impression and asked them a little bit about the job, and they were really, really shifty. When I shook hands with them, they were really clammy and awkward, and I was just like, this doesn't feel right, but I'd already given them my CV and the $20 note. They didn't have any further questions for me. They were just trying to get me out. They had rented a shit office in a basically empty block. And as soon as I left, I was just like, yeah, that felt very dodgy. I knew I was never going to hear anything from them again.
So he paid to get interviewed?
So, yeah, you had to turn in a processing fee of 20 pounds. Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
and he had to drive there to do it. That's a double scam.
Like, while you're on your way there, you don't doubt it at all and go back.
Sorry, buddy, they got you.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that.
This is mostly your fault.
It's mostly your fault, but also, like, these guys rented an office. You would think that you could just approach the landlord and be like, hey, can I get the cell phone of the guys who were doing this criminal front out of your business?
That's so crazy. That's such a... I am shocked anybody fell for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they at least got 20 pounds.
Yeah. I don't know what the exchange rate of that is. But
well, it's
like 35.
It's like 1.5 to the dollar usually.
Right.
Give or take post Brexit. It goes up and down. But no, I'm a big fan of renting real estate to do scams for $20. It's kind of amazing.
I wonder how many people they got.
Oh,
I bet it was in the threes.
That's the other thing. If they rented a fucking office,
multiple people were like,
if they rented a fucking office, just go back the next day.
Yeah, I bet you they were gone.
And beat their ass.
Yeah, of course, they're on to the next office.
Yeah,
they had 3 more
they're on
appointments
to the
set
next
up.
day rental fee for an entire office.
Scamming it out of a WeWork.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a scam within the scam. Yes.
Yeah, I bet you they didn't break even. These guys suck.
Well, they're spending all their money on nice clothes, it sounds like.
Yeah.
This is probably something that you're allowed to do in a Swedish prison. This guy says, when I was about 14...
Playing video games.
Yeah. He says, when I was
Take
about...
a bath. A nice, relaxing...
Take the best bath you've ever had.
With the nicest bath bomb. The most expensive one.
He says, when I was about 14, I was trying to scam EA by pretending that I had been scammed in order to get better players for FIFA Ultimate Team. But then I gave my login details to actual scammers pretending to be EA.
Oh my God.
So that's a snake eating its own tail.
One kid versus a giant corporation.
But yeah, he was like trying to fuck with EA, and then somebody was pretending to be EA.
He's trying to be like, I paid for these extra players but never received them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And EA is going to be like, that literally never happened.
That is not an option. That's so funny. That does remind me, when I was in college, I used a fake ID to buy alcohol. And then the guy was like, I need another form of ID. And I gave him my real ID. And then he called me McLovin. And I left with no dignity left.
Damn. He got you.
Yeah, well,
got your ass.
That was so dumb.
I've probably told this on the show, but I had a friend who his brother turned 21 and they looked very similar. And we were all in high school, and his brother gave him his old ID. And he was buying like a tremendous amount of beer for a party at Walmart, and went in with the ID, and he's standing in line, and he's like, man, they're going to really give this like a once over and see that it's expired. I better get something else to distract them. And so he went to the camping section and bought a hatchet.
Whoa.
And so he had 200 beers and a small camping hatchet.
Nice.
And it's Alabama, so they were like, "All right, cool, bro, see ya."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, why would
went
they even care?
Yeah.
It's just
It's like a small thret of a purchase.
right.
You
I
can go
guess.
to fucking Walmart and buy a gun.
Yeah, you
and a
can
bunch
get
of
like a
ammo, and they're going to be
shotgun.
like, yeah, later.
With one fucking bullet.
Right, but if the idea is to kind of make your enormous beer purchase blend in with,
Yeah.
Well,
you
there's
know,
literally no item you can buy.
Yeah,
You'd have to
with
buy
beer.
like fucking a
Like,
bunch of
Oh, yeah.
spare rib
Also, like a head of
racks
lettuce because I'm an adult. Like,
well, no, you buy some knee-length socks. You're like, I'm shopping for the old man. You know how it is.
What the
Dad likes to drink a 9,000
Dad loves
beers.
knee-high socks.
He's got knee-high socks.
My
and he
dad's
drinks
a hot girl who shops at Hot Topic.
I like the hatchet idea because he probably has some sort of use for a hatchet at some
Yeah, it
point.
is
You're gonna
Alabama,
need to
so-
chop down a tree or
Oh
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, we had a
Or threaten a cashier who wants to guard you.
we were drinking at a cow pasture that evening, so we did have a campfire. So I mean,
Nice.
it immediately came in handy, but it was just funny to be like, yes, this will draw less attention
That's
than
so funny.
800 beers.
My friend, when he bought beer, he would wear a Cookie Monster beanie because he was
Oh,
like,
that-
no. If
like-
I was a kid trying to pretend to be an adult, I wouldn't wear this. And,
He's like
yeah,
peacocking.
yeah.
He got
Yeah, he was like double.
That's
yeah.
so smart.
And it worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. That's
Yeah.
so smart.
Just
yeah, yeah.
dressed like a
Does
fucking
he work
baby.
at fucking SpaceX now?
He's actually the smartest man in the world, Stephen Hawking.
This one is from Sacramento. A professional-looking gentleman was delivering flat-screen televisions in my neighborhood. As I passed him, he stopped me to tell me about a fantastic deal his company was running on those televisions. Large, high-end flat-screen TVs going for only $200. He opened up the box that he was currently delivering and showed me the TV. I liked the deal so much I agreed to purchase it. He pulled out 2 boxes out of his truck and was even kind enough to place them in my house. He shook my hand and said thank you and then drove away. I opened one box to swap out my old TV, only to find a very heavy oven door in the box. $400 for 2 oven doors. Surprise!
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's a classic.
The old you wanted to buy stolen property
Yeah.
trick.
You just bought a car door.
You've seen the guys in the minivans that sell that shit like
Yeah.
in
The
grocery store
speakers,
parking
yeah.
lots.
Yeah, my friend's dad bought a speaker system. It was just a bunch of rocks. I was like, your dad's an idiot, man.
I told some guys I didn't want their bullshit speakers, and they're like, well, you're driving a shitty car and we're driving a nice one. And I was like, okay, I'm also not selling speakers at a gas station.
Yeah, not a con artist.
If we're gonna start comparing our lives, we at least have to go there, right?
It's so funny. You're a fucking loser, man. It's like, yeah, and you're awesome, by the way.
Have you been scammed in any major way?
No, I really haven't. It's amazing I haven't because I'm so gullible, but no. Never. Anytime someone like I buy something off of like eBay or something, I've had people be like, "Oh, you got to pay me in Cash App because like blah blah blah." I'm like, "No."
There was one in here where a guy was looking for a good deal on AirPods and bought it off of some bootleg ass website, and they sent him a gigantic fake AirPod. Like it was like a
like a prop.
like a
like a
big
giant-
like an oversized whose line is it anyway sized AirPod, just one.
That's funny. That's at least a scam artist has like a sense of humor.
It's the most worthless thing now.
A hot scam online now for video games is people will be like, this game, and then they'll almost have it the same price as like the other used versions, but it's just the box, and then they just write box at
Box
the end.
only. Yeah, I've
after a
seen
really
that.
long title that you can like not read in the preview fully.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
great condition, almost brand new.
Perfect condition.
They almost got me the last time I was at my parents' house. They have their house is kind of shaped like an L, so they have to have like the Wi-Fi extenders to go in the walls.
okay.
And they were just like fucking up. So my mom was like, "Can you figure out how to fix these?" So I took it out, typed into Google like the model of it, and it was one of those like click now, and they had a phone number. And because I just didn't want to deal with computer stuff, I was like, "Oh, just call it." And the guy basically started being like, okay, so you're going to install a program, a small program on your computer. And I was like,
oh, no, I'm not.
and like, as I was typing in the website to it, I was like, wait a minute.
This is one of those scams.
It's one of those goddamn scams. Yeah,
Hold
so
on
I
a
had
second.
to hang up on him, but
Nice.
almost got me real close.
Yeah.
This last one here. I was 19, backpacking around Southeast Asia with 3 friends. We'd been fairly lucky with our approach to drugs, and we had basically been fine besides buying an actual rock once. Which that's amazing.
What do they think it was?
I guess crack or coke, but they bought just a rock. Yeah. We bought an actual rock once and one massively dangerous incident involving a handgun. So like it's already like you have just contradicted yourself. Like, yeah, it was fine, except
Things were great, except for
someone
the handgun.
wanted a gun in my head. Yeah. We had just arrived at our hostel in Ho Chi Minh City, and my friend got to talking to a squat Vietnamese man on a moped selling weed. His eyes were directionally speaking simply independent of each other. It was so mega cross-eyed. It was a very touristy road, but seemed like such an impossible put on that we figured he couldn't be a policeman.
Solid.
So we all followed him to a quiet street to pick up weed. I guess when we verbally agreed to the deal, the man brandished a laminated ID. We never actually inspected the ID and said, "I'm a cop," but in that kind of made-up ersatz American way. He then escorted us one by one to the ATM, where we each had to get out $100 to pay him off. I went last, so for some reason I had to pay $200. His eyes somehow then immediately corrected themselves once he revealed it, and I didn't know that was possible.
That's crazy that he was like, also my eyes are not crossed.
Yeah.
Seems like, I'm not, like when you're robbing people, I don't think you need to like pretend you're cross-eyed. I think
but
the gun is enough.
But that's his Cookie Monster hat.
His Cookie
That's his Cookie Monster hat.
for
It's
sure.
like, dude, well, this guy couldn't. He's obviously disabled. He couldn't.
This
be a-
weed must be good as hell. His eyes are fucked.
Look at what the weed did to him.
Yeah. It was just that powerful.
That's crazy. They were straight up robbed.
Yeah.
Not so much a scam as much as like they got mugged.
Yeah. This is just why you just don't talk to anybody.
Yeah, no.
That's why you don't try to score weed on the street of a foreign country.
Yeah, just don't like. It's crazy that people still try to do that. They're like in the middle of like somewhere, and they're like, all right, let's try to buy something illegal. That I'm gonna put into my body.
It's currently season 48 of Locked Up Abroad. People are still just like, it'll be chill. No worries. This is actually best case scenario.
This is great. You didn't go to jail.
Yeah. You didn't get weed, but and you lost $200.
They're
but
cracking. I heard in Thailand, I think, or Vietnam, I don't know. One of them, they legalized weed, and now they're cracking back down on it because everybody's getting too loopy off that weed.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't like it anymore.
That's like
It's cutting
That's
down
crazy.
productivity.
I don't know. They're just. I think it was one of those things where they're like, "This will be great for tourism," and then there just started being weed shops.
and they're like,
everywhere.
no, it's
yeah,
not.
exactly. It's
That's
great for
like-
tourism, and we hate it. You know,
That's so confusing.
But they told all these farmers you could grow weed now, and it was going to
Yeah.
be this huge cash crop. And they're like, "Oh wait, never mind.
Never mind, burn it down, guys.
Yeah.
You're all going to jail.